and your body with the feet. So that took
Is that yours?
the body.
It's a prop, I'll explain it when I talk.
Well, that whole still there. So one example, I suppose when
So what happens when no one is being recorded?
It is?
University of Washington, they let me wear a hat. I was the only one allowed to wear smoke. Yeah.
It's just the light.
No, you put the light.
Oh, you know, not all the lights are on. I wonder if there's another way to turn. Is there some lights that aren't working? Oh.
So I was the only one allowed to smoke inside the university. Like all of it. Yeah. That makes it then their room laws. Now, the reason they allow me is because I talk about things for not smoking. But I know that later we start from Washington, D.C., when all the Congress representatives, because all these people are elected and selected by people in 50 boxes. So they were our head, they were our brains. There were 538. And thanks for no smoke in public place, parking in that, well, New York, where I went, parking in every step takes from the underfloor, takes from every step, every window. We go to the amphitheater and the door, takes from no smoke. Big. So I said, I like this mantra. Whoever made this, I like it. Thanks for no smoking. I like it. I think they should take this sign and take it to the War Department. Hey, what is it? Because police begins to burn, that's where the atom bomb must be. Oh, we're going to begin. So we're going to dedicate the Wembley song. jackass.
Oh.
Oh, thank you very much. And you come here to learn about the Earth people way of life. So what we present here, these two hemispheres. So in medical science, we talk about two lobes. And behind there's a cranium interpreter. And way back in deep subconscious mind, medalla that records like a tape recorder, see? So this one, we lost it. So this is blank out, and we drift over here. And so we're over here now, under that gold dome. And when you go inside this gold dome, see these dinosaur outfit, they want to buy the whole world. So every country, every nation, entire world, money is the problem. Create problems. But over here, in joking way, I said, I think the Catholic misspelled it and left the L out. In God we trust. So this one, when you start going here, you start from kindergarten, elementary, high school, college, university. You go inside that John Harvard University, see, under that gold dome. So you're going to be a scientist, or you're going to be a doctor, you could be a lawyer, you could be a religion, or you could be one or two or three, or you could be all four. That is if you have money. So I sent my little brother to John Harvard, and we bought him the cheapest paper, $45,000. And when he came back, he was a totally different person. He was my brother when he left. But when he came back, he was totally different. He called me, hey you, he didn't like it. So it's really something that I learned all my life, how my people were trying to assimilate in this philosophy, but it never worked. Because, I admire my white brothers, Like I started Washington. See, I just tag along to my interpreters. We're going to see a big shot there. And we did talk to this guy, and everything is recorded. So we're waiting for him to come out of this big meeting, and we have 5 minutes to talk to him, and he's going to talk to his secretary, and then they're going to put that on the data or date of when we could come and whether that will go through to the channel, whether it'll come back yes or no. Might take 2 years before we hear it. Yeah. But anyway, so while waiting there, my 2 interpreters, don't go away, don't go away, stay here, stay here. They went. So I got up and started wandering around inside, under that gold dome. People are going this way, that way, and some this way, and some that way. Nobody ever said hi to me. Nobody ever saw me, so I just walked around this. So, hey, I run into a white boy. Hey, come here, let's look around. So at least I have a witness. That white boy, he got curious. So we walk around inside, and nobody ever saw me. So that was the first thing I learned. But inside it was cold, empty, and we could hear those moanings and crying, and some people were howling loud. And most of the people that we learned or we hear them cry out, they were using the correct English, the official language. Jesus Christ, son of a bitch. Say the official language. God damn, you look like that. The official language. Now I thought that was the official language because you had to speak English. But anyway, we were going around. So we said, hey, wait here. And he was really all fired up, all lit up, because we walk around and nobody saw him. So he ran up. And the first time I seen a tape recorder, this guy came and had a tape recorder. This is a recorder. And when I ask you a question, I want to record it. You don't mind? So I said, no. So what do you think about this bureau? Meaning the bureau of Indian Affairs. So I said, well, I don't think, you guys think, and that's what I said. What do you think? I said, I don't think you guys think. So that's where I took off. And I admire my white brothers. I wish I was smart like them. You know, I admire them because they could train an elephant, they could train a mouse. But one thing they can't train is me. They can't train me. So they call me blockhead, bonehead, like that. So they finally, they train a monkey. They train a monkey, wears whole suit, white shirt, necktie. And there's they call it treaty. So two of these chiefs, they call them chiefs. Two chiefs, they were hung, hey, remember white father said that if we're hungry we should go remind him. He said he's going to feed us. So two chiefs went to D.C. They came here and they saw this monkey sitting there. So what can I help? What can I do for it? Or maybe, I don't know. We just come to see the white father. We're hungry. So if they are food, no, you can't talk to the white father. He's busy, he's in the meeting. But I'll send a runner up there. So he wrote the note. So the runner went up there. Runner came back with a piece of paper. No, he said, you can't see the white father, he's busy. But he sent you a check. He sent you some money, check, so you could buy food. So the monkey looks at the paper, and these two chiefs don't know what, maybe $1 million, and they can read it. They don't know how much he wrote. But monkey, he reads it. So the monkey said, well, I'll take this paper. I got a warehouse here. Commissary. So he opened the door and it's empty. Except there's a round cheese. That's all that's left. So there's a round cheese. Well, white father gave you this piece of paper, gave you money. No, we don't eat money. We're hungry. So, well, I'll take this paper and I'll give it. The warehouse is empty, but there's a round cheese. So yeah, we're hungry, we want to eat. So the monkey brought this round cheese. I believe in equality and justice. So he measured the circumference, diameter, and he took a knife. And the surface is equal. So neither one get bigger or small. So I believe in equality. So he divided the radius times 2 dimension, diameter, times the pi. Okay? Well, he held a knife this way, so it went angle. So naturally, this side is heavier than this. I believe in equality, so that's equal. Now I believe in justice. So he brought a scale and put the cheese on top, the scale. So of course this side is heavy, so it went down. So the monkey took a bite on the other side. But took a bigger bite, so it went up. So the other side came down. So he took another bite on this side. So he keep going this way till there's a mouthful left. And they broke down when mouthful left. So this is called equality and justice. So the monkey, the BIA ate up all his monkeys that was supposed to be given to India. So I told what I think about the Bureau, what I saw, what they were thinking. See.
Thank you, Grandfather. That's a great introduction. We're just kind of we're going to talk about freedom and unity.
Yes.
And we have with us Carolyn Smith here, who has been studying, she's a private citizen who's been studying independently for 32 years, man's inhumanity to man, what's caused it. And she has developed a worldview that is very fascinating for accessing unity and freedom. And it's very much aligned with Grandfather's worldview, but it's in a different a metaphor, different words. And we wanted to share that with everyone tonight. And also Dr. Emily Bornstein is here, who has been working with Grandfather for 8 years and who is a psychologist, a mainstream psychologist, and who has very interesting insights into the whole integration of the mainstream thinking with the native thinking. And I'm Connie Marlow with Friends of Earth People. And the whole vision and mission of Friends of Earth People, we've sponsored this little talking circle tonight. And the whole vision and mission of Friends of Earth People is that the native peoples have been holding keys to true freedom and unity through their connection to the earth, their knowledge of the earth, and the unseen universal forces. And that when we bring together what they know and what we've learned by walking the path of separation, a synthesis will occur that will create a whole new way of walking on earth in balance with all of creation and with all of the universal laws. So that's what we're doing tonight. We're exploring the reality of true freedom. How can we walk from what is freedom, and how can we walk from this reality that we're in right now, where we think we're free but we're not, and how can we access true, profound freedom and unity of all people and all of creation. So we'll be exploring that through these various points of view. And we're all doing this with a talking circle, so if everyone could kind of introduce themselves. What's your name?
My name's Patty.
Patty?
Yeah.
Welcome, Patty.
Thank you. Patricia.
Patricia?
I'm Randy.
Andy?
Susan.
Susan?
Michael.
Oh.
I'm Michael.
And we've got Hinton behind the camera, who's quite a man of peace and freedom, and poet. And so we'll just kind of get started here. Grandfather, I appreciate your introduction. Maybe Emily, could you just kind of walk us through, kind of quickly through the worldview, the two worldviews of the Lakota worldview on this side and the current worldview, to give people an idea of the form, where we can move from in our discussions. This will be my well, over here we have AD, and over here we have BC. Now, according to the Lakota way of thinking about things, BC is before Columbus, and AD is atomic destruction. The more familiar way that people often think about this is before Christ, and this is Anno Domini, or after our Lord, or in the year of our Lord. So those are two different interpretations of the same letters. And that's what I have learned a lot about in the past few years, is different interpretations of concepts, ideas, and notions that I thought I already understood. So that's what my journey with Wallace Black Elk here, who is a Lakota spiritual teacher and spirit interpreter. That is actually his correct title. People call him a medicine man, but that's not so. A medicine man is the spirit that comes in to heal. So that's the real medicine man. So anyway, well here, we're mostly pretty familiar with this, so I'll just go run this by quickly. This is the world of black and white. When you see it in black and white, then you know it's real. If it's written in black and white. So here we have black and white, so we know that this is real. And we have here, this is a circle. And inside the circle we have inscribed a square. When I say we, I'm talking about Western European civilization, but not just Western European, but basically the modern technological so-called civilization, where we have everything inscribed in a square. You'll notice that a lot of our buildings are very square, and our fences are mostly not exactly square, but they have that linear quality to them, straight lines going up and down. And then we have the lock on the door. You always have to have a key, like today when we came to our meeting. We didn't have the key to the building, so we had to use our ingenuity to get the key to get in the door. So that's what we're all about here, is learning to use our ingenuity. Huh? And if I'm in error, I invite any one of you to correct me, because I'm just a beginner at all this. So this is the main way that we have approached reality, is through these four general disciplines. And of course, there are many sub-disciplines. Can you see all right? Science, psychology, law, and religion. So these are the four main, you might say, establishments through which people have tried to make their way in the world. So you go, let's say this is the university, for example, John Harvard University, as Wallace likes to call it. And you go through this door, and in order to become, anointed isn't quite the right word. It's something like being anointed, so that you, and people wherever you go will know that you are really somebody that knows something. You have to have what's called a diploma. So that's what a diploma is, to show that you are one of the elect that knows something. So you have to go in this university, as I did at a very young age, and I had this education to the max. I went to prep school, and I went to college, and I went to graduate school twice because I liked it so much. So I got a master's degree at the University of Chicago, and then I got my doctorate in psychology a few years later at the University of Denver. So I have been through this system, and I can tell you that this is a very interesting system, but I came to a point where I felt that there was nobody in here that could teach me what I needed to learn. So this was a problem for me. My field is psychology. I am a psychologist. Now, what does the word psychology really mean? It comes from two Greek words, psyche and logos. Logos means word, and psyche means spirit. So the field of psychology is about the word of the spirit. However, if you talk to most modern psychologists, they will not tell you this. Many of them don't even know this in their conscious minds. This is very interesting. Instead, they will tell you it's about running experiments with rats or with people or with a variety of things. But anyway, you have to use scientific technology, you have to have control groups, and you have to have experimental groups, and you have to keep track of the data, and you have to be very, very careful to do everything and mind your P's and Q's, otherwise you don't get anywhere in this, because psychology's been trying to prove that it's a hard science, which it is not. But they're still trying to prove it. So, my hat is off to them, but I have given up proving that psychology is a hard science, and instead I now am trying to understand about this word of the spirit, okay? So I had to leave this, but just temporarily, before we go over here, which I know you're all anxious to do, I have to point out a few aspects of this, this reality. This reality that's here. In other words, as long as people believe these certain things or see it in this way, that's their reality, so I'm going to do that right now. So one of the driving forces in this reality is gold or money, material goods, material wealth. And so we see this is our nation that we live in here, the United States of America it's called. we live under this, this slogan, you might say, in gold we trust. So some people would say in God we trust, that's what's on our money, but actually they forgot this L that really belongs in there. In gold we trust. And even nowadays, we have all this gold stored at places like Fort Knox, and this is supposed to back up our paper money, but of course we all know that there isn't enough gold to back up the paper money, so we all are just accepting on faith that this money, this paper money we use, means something or that it's worth something. So we actually have a shared reality, you might say. We all agree that this paper money is worth something, so we use it as a medium of exchange. And this is psychology, the way I'm describing this to you, because this is how people's minds work. So here's the capital, you know, this is a very primitive picture, but I've been hanging around with primitive people lately, so I can't help it. Anyway, so here's the capital. Should be gold, but I didn't have any gold, so you have to use your imagination. This is gold here, and there's all these guys like Newt Gingrich and Bob Dole and all these kind of people. They're inside here and they're battling it out. They're going to fight to the death for what they believe in. Okay, so now in this way of looking at the world, these are very important. When you go to school, you have to learn your A, B, C's all the way up to Z. So it's very important to learn your alphabet. And you have to learn your 1, 2, 3s, and that goes all the way to 0. 0 means nothing. Okay? And unfortunately, what this system seems to have led to, at least lately, I think we all agree, frustration, anger, arguments, and confusion. Arguments is not just you and me arguing with words, but this can even be escalated to wars, World War II, atomic bombs, and all this kind of stuff. People get into destroying each other, like what's been going on in Bosnia, for example. That's a perfect example of this arguments and this confusion that's going on in people's minds. So, and another one of our slogans is money talks, and this is one of our favorite ones. Seeing is believing. If you can't see it, if you can't measure it, and I mean in the material, in this world right here, this so-called solid world right here, which Einstein explained to us is not actually solid, but a lot of people don't even believe Einstein. They put him up on a pedestal, they realized somehow that he was a great man and had certain deep understandings about the universe, but they still don't believe him because most of us still go by this principle. Seeing is believing. Touching is believing, and being able to measure it is the best. If we can measure it, then we know it's real. Okay? Now, I might have left out something, but I'm gonna, oh, I forgot the key. The key. Yeah, you have to have a certain key to get in this door. And so the key is that you have to be in a big competition, and you have to all your life get ahead, get ahead. You got to get a head start. Life is a race, and the worst thing is if you get in the back of the pack in this race. It's better to be up front. And the thing you have to try to do is, as you go along, you try to push the other people aside because it's very important to be king of the hill. So this is the way this system works. Now, what I've been doing is taking a vacation over here for the past 7 or 8 years. I gave up my psychology practice because I don't want to practice anymore. I want to do it. So I decided to try to find somebody who could teach me about this, the real word of the Spirit. But you know what? I went all over among my fellow psychologists and my teachers and all these people who have their PhDs and all this. I tried to find somebody who could teach me about this. But you know what? I couldn't. I couldn't find anybody. But luckily, I found this guy right here. And it's not just him, because when I was learning from this man, I was also learning from his grandfather and his grandmother. And I'll give you a little example. See, this is like a little quiz for me to see how well I've been learning my lessons. When his grandmother explained to him about beadwork, she took a piece of buckskin and she drew a line on the buckskin, and she said, grandson? Hoshima? No. Takoja. Takoja means grandchild in Lakota. She said, Takoja, this line has no beginning and no end. So that was his first lesson in geometry. His illiterate grandmother said to him, "This line has no beginning and no end." Now, it's a funny thing, but I have a feeling that Mr. Einstein would not disagree with that. What do you think? Anyway, over here we have, instead of a gold dome, we have Wakantanka, which in Lakota means, Lakota is the opposite of English in terms of word order. I should probably let you know that right off the bat. In other words, if you have a noun and an adjective, the adjective goes after the noun, unlike English. So it's everything sort of like opposite to English. So Wakantanka means great spirit or great mystery. So that's who's at the head of this whole chart right here. This is a flow chart. These are both flow charts, of course. And this is the head of the flow chart. That's the great spirit. Now over here, occasionally you hear the word God spoken. But the problem with the word God for me is that it's kind of a tiny word, and it's representing something that's so immense that our minds can't even begin to grasp this. So I like this better, actually. Wakantanka, great mystery, at least for me. It is a mystery to me. So I like that way of thinking about it. And also, we have Tukashima, our grandfather, and Maka Unchi, grandmother Earth. So in this way, we experience our Mother Earth as a living being. As indeed, some of our quantum physicists over here are beginning to realize, or have begun to find their way toward that point where they realize that everything in the universe is actually alive, that even atoms themselves have consciousness. So that's where this guy has been all along. And not just him, but there are other Earth nations of Turtle Island, which is the real name of the United States, Turtle Island. Like the Hopi people and many others that have been, through great difficulty and very hard times, preserving this understanding for all of us. So we have Wakantanka, the great mystery, and this is Ampawi. That means actually, literally, man, woman, and that's the word for the sun, what we call the sun, which is the center of our solar system. And this circle has no beginning and no end. This is the circle of life, or the cycle of life. And this is a tree, with my primitive drawing here. This is a tree with roots, and it has, you'll notice that it has two branches here, right here. That is Chanupa. In Lakota means tree of life. And it also refers to the instrument that they use in their prayer, which some white people call a sacred pipe. But that is not, I think you will all agree with me that if you want to be precise about definitions of words, that sacred pipe does not mean the same thing as Chanupa, tree of life. It is a different meaning. So it's proper to call this instrument, this sacred instrument of prayer, a Chanupa. And it also stands for tree of life. And this is a tree with two, Nupa means two branches or two prongs. And this so-called sacred pipe, this Chanupa, they have two pieces. The bowl represents the woman, the female energy, and the stem represents the male energy. And so when you put the female energy and the male energy together in unity, you can do anything. It's very powerful. So part of the problem among us human beings lately, with all this war going on between men and women, is that we haven't been able to put our energy together in the right way so that we can really get things done, the things that we came to Earth to do. So, anyway, under this system, I don't really want to call it a system, but that's the only word I have in English, so we'll call it a system. The important values or the important virtues are courage, which actually, that's actually comes from a French word. It means heart. Cœur means heart in French. Now that means when you have courage, doesn't mean that you're a braggart and you go around bragging about how you can dive off that mountain on a parachute or a kite like I saw somebody doing yesterday. It means that you do what you do for other people or for this earth or for yourself from your heart, no matter what. Now we know that Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., in whose honor we are gathered here, that he had this. He did what he did from his heart. He gave his life. So he had this. Patience, yes, patience. This is something that's very difficult for myself and a lot of, can I use the expression white people? I don't know, maybe not. Modern people, technological people, let's put it that way. Because you can be black, red, yellow, or white, as Wallace said. You can be a bureaucrat, you could be black, red, yellow, or white. And so having patience is very difficult for us modern people because we expect everything to happen just like this. And of course, then when it doesn't happen like that, then we get frustrated. So that's the back over here. This is where the frustration is. Endurance. When times are hard, we have to endure. And that's something also that can be very hard. Nowadays, people want, like as a therapist, I used to say, if you want Nick therapy, go to somebody else. Real change is hard work. I can't do it for you. I don't have any magic wands. If you want that, go someplace else. But if you're willing to get down and work, I have respect for this because this is difficult. And if you're willing to face your true self and find out who you really are, I'm your person. I'll help you. I can't do it for you, but I'll help you the best I can. Like a midwife. Socrates is one of my ideals because he was a midwife.
It's like the medicine man, you said.
Yeah. So endurance is very important, and alertness. Paying attention. A lot of what I have learned from this man is sheer alertness. Learning to pay attention to what's really going on around you. And I can't tell you how many wonderful experiences I've had. The other day I went up on the Grand Mesa to say a prayer, and I left my prayer ties in a certain place, and I was marching around in the snow and singing songs and just having a great time. And when I came back, I got in my car, I started to drive down, and lo and behold, because I was alert, I saw this shadow going across above my car, and I thought, it's an eagle. So I stopped my car. This is a real steep drop off. So I did have enough sense to just drive up to a place where I could get off. Jumped out and started singing this eagle song, like the one we just sang, but a different one. It comes straight from the eagle. It doesn't have any words. It's just pure song. And this eagle came and he circled over me 3 times. We were talking to each other, but we weren't talking in words. So that's part of what I learned from him. And I talked to that eagle, and he talked to me, but we didn't use words. We used something else. I don't know what it was. Song, I guess. He circled around me 3 times, and then he took off. So what he said to me, if I were to translate that, was, I saw what you did. Good. That's what he said to me. So I felt like the eagle gave me a pat on the back. So that really felt good. So but I wouldn't have even noticed that eagle if I hadn't been alert. So I was alert. I was paying attention. So I give myself a few little pats for that. So then another aspect of this way of life that's very important is to always know where we came from, what our source is, source of life, source of nourishment. So here we have fire, rock, water, and green. And over here we have the Big Bang theory. So fire, rock, water, and green. We need all of these for life. We all have fire. We use fire to keep ourselves warm and for many wonderful things, but we also, it's within us. We are fire. We all have a soul or spirit. And one way of thinking about that is fire. We're all full of fire. We're fiery beings. And rock, we have minerals in us, in our bodies. Water, we have water. What are we, 96% water or something like that? My chemistry's not very good. Mostly because I never studied chemistry. And green. See, we all eat plants. We live from plants. So this is all very important. Plus, these plants, these trees produce the oxygen that's very important for our breathing and our air that we breathe. So this is who we really are. And this is, you might say, these are our roots. And you know what? Each and every one of us in this room, sitting here right now, we all have roots. Ethnic roots, you might say, or cultural roots, or
I don't know what else to call it, but we all came from somewhere else or from someone else, and all of these people, if you go back far enough in time, all of our ancestors used to know this. In my case, my ancestors came from the British Isles, and we knew earth medicine, and our medicine people were called druids. But wherever you came from, you have this in your background. It's in your DNA. You have awareness of this. We're programmed to know it. So all we have to do is see it or experience it, and we recognize. Yeah, like when I first went in the lodge, I thought, well, I've never done this before, and I was having all kinds of negative thoughts. Like, well, I didn't disbelieve. I figured, yeah, he's real, he can do it. But hey, my people haven't been doing this for a couple thousand years. You know, I might have to catch up for a while. But you know what? I went in that lodge and I felt right at home. It's amazing. So, anyway, the Stone People Lodge is one way that we learn about all of this reality. And here we have wisdom, knowledge, power, and gift. These are the attributes of human beings, should we choose to use them. In other words, we have wisdom built into us. We have knowledge. Actually, that's the root of the word science, by the way. But I think science got off the track a little bit. But that's what it really means, knowledge. So I'm a real scientist. I have a very inquiring mind. In psychology, they say, oh, no, we don't study things like spirits. You can't measure that. I said, watch me. I'm a real scientist. There's no area of inquiry that is forbidden to me if I want to learn. So I consider myself more of a real scientist than these people who say, oh no, we're not allowed to study this, we're not allowed to study that. See, I don't believe in that. So wisdom, knowledge, power, and gift. We have all these. Even a gift. What is a gift? A gift is, look, here we are. We're living, we're breathing, we're sitting here together, we're learning from each other, we're exchanging information and understanding, and we're happy and we're joyful when we're doing our thing. So that's what this is about. Life is a big giveaway. They have something they call giveaway, that when you have a ceremony for someone in your family for healing or for any purpose, for a rite of passage from youth into adulthood, whatever is the purpose of it, you always have a giveaway. So that means that the universe is totally about abundance. That's what we're all about, us human beings, is to give of ourselves. That's what we really like to do. And it's really fun for us. So that's what this means here. And this is our power also. We have the power to do amazing things through our love. So let's see. Over here we have the basic foods. Remember we used to study about the basic foods in grammar school? This is the Lakota basic foods. Water, corn, berries, and meat. So we all need these to have a balanced diet. And let's see. Lakota means peace-loving people. They're not Sioux. Sioux is a made-up name. It was made up by somebody else that didn't want to be very complimentary because it means something like cutthroat. It's not very nice. And a lot of these so-called Indian names that you hear, you'll find it's the same, like Navajo means like horse thief or something like that. You know, they're mostly uncomplimentary, but the real name is Dine. That's what they call themselves. So if you really want to know these earth people, you have to get to know them that way. How they see themselves, how they understand this earth and why we're here. And you're going to learn a lot if you do that, because they have a lot of deep wisdom. And they've been holding on to it all this time, just waiting for us to come to our senses so that we'll be ready to receive what they want to give us out of complete generosity. So, that's about it. Oh, this is Mitakuyasin. This is what the Lakota people say as a greeting, or they say it when they, in the ceremony, they say Mitakuyasin, and it means we are all relatives, or to my relatives. What's the literal translation? To all my relatives. So you're just acknowledging that everybody, including the birds, like that eagle I saw, and the puppy that was running around here a little while ago, and all of us, we're all relatives. You know? they're people too. And they have their own language, their own minds, their own hearts. Anybody who has a dog or cat or lives close to any of these creatures knows that they have their own personalities, everything. Their own purpose, just like us. But their language is a little different, so if we really want to understand them, we have to learn how to pay attention to them. More alertness. And lately, we have been treating some of our relatives very well, including ourselves. So that's what we're here for. And this is what Dr. King brought to our attention in a very real and riveting way with his crusade for freedom for the black people. Now we're here to talk about freedom for all people. Black, red, yellow, white. We're all gathered here on Turtle Island to learn our lessons about living together and realizing our own potential. So that's all I have to say.
Great, Emily, thank you. And now what I want to do is have Carolyn share her worldview so that we can start a discussion and we make reference to these graphic representations and to all the people's different vocabulary, and people will know what we're talking about. So Carolyn, would you mind just kind of doing a little sketch of your what you've discovered in your explorations?
An argument?
Yeah.
Well, I'm a student. I just don't get it. Nothing makes sense to me. What I see is Republicans and Democrats having a royal battle that stymies the government in Washington over 1% of a budget over 7 years. And orders to build more B-2 bombers, $1.4 billion each. More than half of them, I believe. My information may not be quite as right as far as numbers, but my understanding is more than half of them have crashed inexplicably. So that, what do? We got to study why it's crashing, so let's build some more. That makes sense. Nothing out there makes sense to me. Because I like to just stand around and open my eyes and look, and I like to listen. I like to open my ears and listen. And what I'm hearing is a Tower of Babel. Nobody understands anybody else. No one's listening. They're too freaked out. There's a million things that we can be afraid of. I bet you can think of 10 or 15. Each of us can think of 10 or 15 different things to be afraid of. Everybody's scared because they can't imagine how we could possibly get ourselves out of this one. And everyone feels depressed and upset because they see no possibility of any explanation whatsoever. Well, I love my work because I'm going to introduce you to a diagram or a vision and see whether this resonates with you. This is new. This is my way. I've spent 32 years reading, and my judgment on that is that virtually everyone's truth is true. Every little child's truth is true. All of my animals' truth is true. You don't know what it is until you stop what you're doing and pay attention. You have to stop what you're doing first before you can get it. Einstein described the world, our universe, as a dynamic energy system in which there are only so many ways that anything can be related to anything else. Let's think of the universe, or the group of all of us beings, including animals, together as these beads. Let's look. Let's see what we've got here. We've got several different colors. They may or may not be the same size. But what are they all doing? They're in a dynamic energy system. What's happening? Something is making them go up the tube. They hit the top of the fluid. Then they come down and they hit one of these energy levels right here. There's 3 of them, notice? Some of them fall right off and go straight down, and then they get sucked up under and go up the center again. Tell me, pick your color. Pick which one of these beads you want to be. Now, stay with that bead and make a comment about any other bead in here and tell me how sensical, how much sense that makes. If we're all transforming at all times, we're always changing, we're always learning, we're always growing, nothing can be said that is complete about any living being. Why not? Because we're not through yet. We're all learning. We got a lot more to go, right? Okay? So, the thing I notice is that fully 3/4 of our language is devoted to ways of describing and especially putting down all the others that are not like us. That's interesting. That only leaves us 1/4 of our language that is useful. Since I'm really stupid, I decided I'm going to try to figure out how the universe operates. I'm going to say this is me. I'm a circle. You know, I'm complete. I mean, I'm a whole person. And I would say that this is everything that can possibly be known. Everything I can possibly know. You notice it's around me. It's symmetrical around me because I'm not going to go way the heck out there and learn something. I mean, all that I know is close to me. And then let's say that this is a graph. So let's put some vectors on here. Okay? And let's say that this represents my dynamic energy levels. And I'm describing a system. Each of these energy levels is different. It has different number of dimensions. All the energy systems inside it are different from all the energy systems in the next one and in the next one. And we haven't been noticing this. So, let me describe. I would say that fully half of our experience is what we see, or what someone told us, or what we read. 2 dimensions. We didn't experience it, or if we did it in the past. 2 dimensions. Okay, what else? We've got experience. That feels like 3 dimensions to me. In other words, there's another dimension experiencing something rather than just being told it or reading it, right? So let's put this as this is experience right here. But that's just not all there is, because I started, when I was paying attention, noticing a whole lot of really bizarre things. And I think you're going to love to hear them. There's a whole nother reality out there that we're not aware of. And it's 4 dimensions. Feel free to correct my spelling, add to, subtract from, argue with, do whatever you choose. This is the way it works here. Okay, now, this operates 2 dimensions like a switch. This, this is an experience. You choose to, say you don't have enough to eat, so you decide to steal some food from someone else. That's an act right here on this graph. In this reality, whatever you do to someone else gets done to you before you can get out of here. Energy moves, let's say, clockwise, like so. Okay, what if you decide to learn? Boy, that didn't feel good. You know, I really liked eating this food, but I didn't like what I got after that. So I'm going to try to learn something. How can I deal with this? So you move up into here. This is learning, knowing, thinking, believing, worshiping, having. This is needing. This is having. And this is desiring. But I'm going to surprise you because you've seen all this kind of thing before, except that this is different, because let's postulate that everything that you ever enjoyed in your life every experience that you've ever had that was fun, every one that helped others, every one in which you had a synergistic reaction and it was helpful and it was a win-win solution, everything is located right here. And guess what? Does this look like a compass? I'm calling this evolution. It starts here and it goes there. This is the past and the known. And this is discovery. Okay, and some of these experiences were fun, and some were not, and some were downright painful. So, let's put all the painful, unfun stuff here. And let's put the stuff that's not painful, but it's wearing, it's stressful, here. And let's put fun here. So let's call this arrow enlightenment, because as we become more enlightened, we will do more of the avoiding of the things that we hate, and we'll go more toward the things that we enjoy and love and think are worthwhile. Okay, now, we've got a system here, and this is logical to me. This, however, is not the kind of structure that all of our civilization here is built on. The kind of structure our civilization is built on is a triangle. It's triangulation. You've got a plus and a minus and a ground. You've got a three-way switch. You've got somebody who feels unequal, and so they grab an ally, so they're stronger. You've got a constant triangulation from a low position, trying to move up into get on the top. Only one guy gets up here, and everybody else is the loser. This is the winner. That's Bill Gates right now, by the way, if you think of this pyramid as money.
Winner take all.
Excuse me?
Winner take all.
That's right. Well, you know, in other words, everyone thinks of Bill Gates of Microsoft as being the pinnacle of what man can be.
Not me.
Well, no, I'm not saying anything against him. I just read his book, and I would say that of all the people that I've ever met, he's probably one of the most spiritual and thoughtful and downright interesting people, a sharing person. And I think that that is why he's right here. Because I've discovered something. Whatever actions we take that go towards evolution and enlightenment are the ones that work. They're fun. It has nothing to do with learning. Have you ever studied a subject? It's like a pyramid. You start you've got all this stuff to learn, and then you go up a little higher, and you learn a little more, and you learn a little more, and you learn a little more, and you're up here, and you get... No matter what you know, you get to the top, and there's nothing there. You've got to still go back down to the other side again. Knowledge does nothing for us, and my position is that understanding and knowledge are in no way connected. If we want to know something about this, we can go and walk a circle around it. We can get 360 points of view. And once we have 360 points of view, we have a circle. We've described it. We know facts. But what's important about that? Do you like it? Is it pretty? Is it useful? You know, you're going to end up either buying the thing or not. Either you believe it or you don't. Either you think it's important or you don't. Either it's useful or it's not. So I wanted a system that everyone could understand, that is easy and explains exactly what is going on. This mode right here, this is lizard mode, and this is not to insult any lizards. Lizards are wonderful creatures, just like us. But the human has a midbrain reptilian brain located in the center of the skull and in the rear, and it governs your autonomic system. And what I discovered was that the people that are in this mode are operating out of fear. And What are they afraid of? That they won't be able to live, that their children will die, that they won't have food for the winter. Whatever they're afraid of, everybody here is in fear. And what have we got up here? We've got people who don't know what to believe. They don't know who to trust. And so we've created what we've got out there and what you see on your nightly news and what you see in the headlines in the paper every morning. And if that makes sense to you, well, that's really cool. But I want you to know there's a whole nother reality out there, and our whole society is about right here, starting here and going here. And we're just about to step over into virtual reality. So we need to know how it works, how it's different. Because this is the reality that Einstein described, except he didn't finish describing it. He couldn't get past chaos. And chaos is actually this whole quadrant right here. As you get farther over to this, everything in here is not real. This is not real. This is not real. This is the only real thing. And guess what? Interestingly, it's the only one that's got any live arrows connected to it, both of them. Everything that you can do in this quadrant creates energy, and you share it with others. Everything in this quadrant feels great. Let's see, what is there? There's sex, childbirth, mating, as far as choosing mates. There's singing, dancing, celebrating. Well, this was hypothetical. And then I discovered that there's something more to this than just hypothetical. And so I decided, okay, I'm going to try it. That can't be possible. It can't be incredible. This is magic. In virtual reality, you can create and do and be whatever you wish to be at any moment. And you can transform, you can change, you can go anywhere. You can do anything in virtual reality. And you've been in it every time you were having fun in your life. And when you're down here, you only get 2 dimensions. Fear causes interference. This is electromagnetic, actually. And the interference prevents you from getting 2 of the 4 dimensions. Up here, distrust is interference, and it prevents you from getting 1 of the 4 dimensions. So you got 3D here. And these are not real. How do you like that? Is that good news? And that means all the dying, the wars, the struggle, all the illness, the pain, and all that stuff wasn't real. And this up here is the old degrees and the businesses and the credentials of all kinds. And that's not real either. Well, what the heck is real? The only thing that is real is the unified field, which is a, shall we say, like a cloud. And it contains only energy and information, zeros and ones. The self is real, myself, who I refer to when I say I. Not what I look at in the mirror in the morning. That's not real. That's what I'm creating. The self is creating it. When we discover that we're doing it, we will stop. All you have to do is just stop. It's easy. You're creating it on an instantaneous basis, moment by moment, based on what you believe. You're creating your own reality. Literally, these chairs, the tables, all of us, that is illusion. That's like your 3D movie and you're in the middle of it. And it's being created electromagnetically exactly like a movie. Except you're in the middle. This is not virtual reality as in computers. Computers are over here. Machines are over here. 3-way switches. Over here, everything is positive, at least a valence of +4. And it goes to infinity. It's a spiral of fun. It never ends. And it's the same thing that looks like death from this mode. And it looks like you've lost your mind from this mode. Literally. You cannot hear truth when you are not having fun. Have you ever tried to teach a screaming baby the alphabet? You ever had any success at it? In this mode, you have not had your basic needs met. Food, air, water, shelter, and touch, nurturance, love, whatever you want to call it. Babies that are born and put into an institution and are not touched, die. In this mode, you need energy. You need it from your food, from your water. You need lots of water, much more than we think we need. Fresh, clean air, not what we're breathing when we're in these sick buildings, not that. That means go outside, be among the trees, be in the park. You get energy from this, literally. You get energy from being with others. It's exciting and fun. You can exchange ideas and you can learn. Energy is contagious, so you can spread it without having to share food, although food is nice too. Everything in this quadrant creates energy. Therefore, no energy is ever lost out of this quadrant. None of these creates energy, and they are not actually actualized. Now, I know that's difficult to believe, but I would say that we need to go back over and look at some of the things we've been seeing and hearing, and then actually see it and hear it, and see whether we haven't been believing what we were taught to believe instead of what we knew when we were born. We are born spiritual creatures. We love life. We're just here to have fun, to find out about it, to see who we are, see what we can do. That's it. We're supposed to be enjoying this. And we can't enjoy it when we're experiencing fear. It squashes all the fun out of it. It's just not possible to have fun and to be experiencing fear. And guess what? Whenever a human being's basic needs are not being met, that person goes into lizard mode. Now, who are the actors in our newspaper who are in lizard mode? The ones that shoot people? The ones that knife people to death? These people's basic energy needs have not been met. Now, that does not mean that they could not have access to the fulfillment of this. But it may mean that. We don't know the answer. And what my study has told me is that since I am unfinished and I'm always changing, and I can be whoever I wish to be now and next, don't decide that you know what's in my mind unless you ask me. You know nothing about any other human being because we're each autonomous, we're each free, we're unique, we're necessary, and we are connected to each other. And that is the reality of virtual reality. And you can experience that in virtual reality. So, if I told you the object of this game is to get in here, and all the money and time are here, which would you choose? If you had to choose between money and time and others and enjoying your life, which would you choose? I mean, do you think people actively choose things that they believe that they want to have a life that's not enjoyable? They don't feel good about themselves? Well, when you actually experience seeing your own self out of someone else's eyes, then you'll believe it. We are literally all one being, and it's like the most sophisticated computer in the world. Your brain is an incredible machine. What I have discovered is that your eyes are very sophisticated optical scanners, fast, much better than any of our technology. Your ears the same acoustically. And what you're doing while you're walking around during the day, your eyes and ears are scanning. And they're taking in everything, whether you're conscious of it or not, whether you're paying attention or not. Most of us go through the day thinking we're supposed to do this and we're supposed to do that and we have to do this, and we're not paying attention. But our eyes are scanning. And then we go to sleep at night, and guess what? the computer file all that information in the proper place. But the computer programs we've got are linear, and the world is not linear. It is a geometric progression, not progress, progression. When you discover in trigonometry, you got a couple of terms here, sine and cosine. They are terms that refer to the measure of the side opposite the angle in a right triangle. Say that this is a pyramid. In Latin, sine looks like sin. In the Bible, they did this in Latin. Somebody misinterpreted it. Look at this. What does sine mean in Latin? It means without. Sine qua non, that's without which nothing. Sine means you're lacking something. Your basic needs are not being met. And cosine over here, it means, hey, what's good for the goose is good for the gander. And then there's another word, cosequent. Sound very much like consequences? Interesting when you start studying language. And then, my mind was really blown because, believe me, I am not a computer person. I have studied a lot of different subjects and followed them through to the top of what we know, just because I'm interested, because I like to learn. But computers was never one of them. And then I discovered that I knew more than I thought, because some of the writing that I was doing was in electrical language, in computer programming language, fax language, little symbols all over the place. So apparently what this is it's hit on what is really going on. Unbelievable. And guess what? The self is here in the center and is choosing at every moment what you're paying attention to, and whether you want to have fun or whether you want to do what someone else told you to do, or what. You're choosing every single instant. And each choice will take you somewhere on this circle. Well, guess what else I discovered? It's built into the system for you to have fun and make, whenever you get tired of what the fun you're having now, you're supposed to choose fun next. That's the program. Choose fun now, choose fun next. If every single person did that, literally, wait, imagine this for a minute. If every single person did that and was having fun, would they care about money? If everyone were safe, would they care about digging more holes in the earth and piling up dirt? No. And if everybody had to give a gift to get in here from there, well, that would be really cool. So that there'd be a lot of loose stuff hanging around, right? Gifts? Gifts? That's how it's designed. And we just don't get it. Try it. It's unbelievable. It's really true. I have been doing this for 10 months now. And after about 5 months in VR, is what I call a virtual reality, because it's difficult. We're in a CD world. This is CD mode right here. This is CD. You can call it control trauma, you can call it compulsion, depression, you can call it data command director, because that's what it is, between voice and data mode. You've got a voice mode and a data mode here. You've got words originating here. And you've got fusion over here. Literally, fusion. And room temperature, easy. Producing an endless supply of power with just one start. It produces its own fuel forever, and the only byproducts are fresh clean water and fresh clean oxygen. And that's how it's designed. But our scientists don't get it yet, because they keep applying Newtonian physical principles to the idea of fusion, and it just isn't going to happen. They don't get it. So they need to understand this too. I have 40 pages of formulas, but in each mode of reality, the formulas are different because this is two-dimensional. Everything in here has got a valence of plus or minus 2. This is CD mode. Everything here has a valence of plus or minus 3 or 0, up to or including plus or minus 3. Everything here is only 4 plus. And we have very few substances that we've discovered that qualify. But what I also discovered is this describes an individual human, a dynamic energy system. It describes society. It describes history. It describes anthropology, psychology, medicine, everything. Quantum physics, this is it. Mathematics. This is the design. This is how it works. Unbelievable. It's so simple. And we've been missing it. Why? Because even though all of our truths were true, nobody ever linked fun with the virtues and sex with the virtues. And everyone thought they had to choose between being a decent person or having fun. So they didn't want to make that choice, so they straddled this line, you know? And they also believed, because they were afraid they didn't know enough, that somebody else knew more than they did. So therefore, it was unbalanced. Somebody knew more, somebody had more. That's what this is. It's a seesaw on a fulcrum. Back and forth. Yes, if, and, or, but. Our language tells us which mode we're in. Go ahead, Connie, do you want something?
Well, we just need to start to wrap up. Okay.
Well, okay. So I have spent 10 months studying this and writing on it, and it affects every single area of discipline that we have any interest in on this earth. It changes, it transforms it. And it's all cool. There's no negative in VR. There's going to be no nuclear destruction, guys. Does that put a smile on the face? Because we're choosing it. And we're not idiots. We're going to learn this. We're going to learn we're choosing it. As soon as we believe we're choosing it, it'll be different. It's easy as pie. It's already done.
Why, thanks, Carolyn. So what do you guys all think of that? Anybody have any thoughts or comments? We've got about 15 more minutes. Anybody want to comment, grandfather? Or?
Yeah, well, we started what freedom is,
Right.
and we talked about Martin Luther King. About what he said was to bring my people together, but the warning was caution not just only black, racial, and white, but the caution is we have to quit abusing the water and the planet. Because we keep abusing, we're abusing each other. We're killing each other. So that was his advice. So it's really good because Dr. Martin Luther King made it way back in the 60s. He spoke to movement. We were the ones that helped support, and we got going this civil rights was enacted into a law. So now, so that involves other nations. See? So, but still, what the peace, the freedom means is we have to look at the people, all people. So all the people that live here, the winged people, and the four-legged, the creepers and crawlers, remember these people, they were here. So we should ask them that, can I live here? Instead of pushing them out, take over, and their feet won't get smaller and smaller. So we're not in the right way. So what freedom is here, I said, just imagine only 500 years ago, were the last group of people were totally free people. Our birds and wings, they could go any place, eat what they want to eat. They could go and crash any place without asking anybody. Well, we respect Tukashla and Grandma walked here because that doubt contaminates the world. So man, you're going to die, live. Every civilization to stop. And even then, history, that you're part of fire, rock, and water, green. Then you go another civilization. Now we'll give you 4 chances. 4th time I'll come to see you again. So we got one more. And it's not too far yet. See, we mess up everything. We mess up their freedom. So the trees are dying. The rivers and lake oceans are dying. Our lifespan begins shorter and shorter. Like, I'm not a Christian. Well, I can say this. All these people write books. They're called prophecies. So they put them together, and it seems like this real hippie guy got sinners in between them. Before it was called Old Testament, this side is New Testament. But I can say this. So the Christian people, they have a beginning and the end of the world. See? But before the end of the world comes the tribulation. The word tribe is derived from the word tribulation. See? And the Armageddon, they're going to upstage Armageddon in the East, where Jesus, where peace on earth and goodwill towards men is supposed to be born. And they nailed it to the tree, see? So when I went to Levi, I'll talk about the buffalo, the 4-legged who offered their life because we lost our road and we messed up the whole altar. Let there be mountains, so we jammed everything. Snow would blow here in the air, cold air, the hot air, and ashes blowed here, mudslide, lava exploded. We messed up the altar. So gosh, I came out and turned this pond, thunder and lightning, and all the sparks bumped into each other. So you see all the craters, see. So we know who our father and mother is, but drifted away from us, wisdom, knowledge, power, and gift. We are part of the religion. We're part of this nucleus. We're part of the fire, the perpetual, everlasting, living fire. Have no beginning and no end. So the Ampa means man, we is only. So the masculine and the feminine are always together. They never was separate, they were together. So let there be a life. So this is the life. So the temple of God is a knowledge. Knowledge is a woman. Woman is a temple of God. See? So we have to reorganize, regroup, and we have to reform, and that Chinooka will be in the midst. The whole world will be a paradise. But the Christian people, they call this forbidden rock or whatever it's called.
Forbidden fruit.
Forbidden fruit. Snake take a bite and give that crooked woman, crooked lady, they give a bite and they give a bite to Adam. So there's all these little cartoon comic books written. But in reality, there is something behind that they couldn't really interpret because they lost contact with the Creator and the Holy Mother. So what do you say? To my recollection, I think it's lost. So before we forget, let's put a mark, a symbol. So a little typewriter begin with a little hammer and chisel to a symbol. This is called solid communication, or later known as alphabet. So the reading and writing really began 22 or 26 years before the little hippie guy, see? But there were some guys before that, Isaac and Jacob. See? So we're talking way before that. Then this is the real, what we lost. general. But when I went to Geneva, I talked about the four-legged who offered their life. So Tagasta accepted. They asked for forgiveness. So the arrow sent to the heart, and the blood spilled and become stone. See? So they take the rope and put around us. So we wear buckskin seniors for thread and needles, for bones for needles. There are tools, there are tools. And this little buffalo, there's a blade of grass called buffalo grass, chops it up and drinks water and becomes flesh and blood. So if you want to be a real legend, you better stay next to the buffalo and you be strictly legend. So the argument is the vegetarian argument. Well, you say, I believe 100% this way. And I looked over and there's a cross and the sheep guards hanging there, dead and all bones. So no, I don't believe it. Didn't you say you kill a buffalo and you absorb his flesh and blood won't be seen? No. We don't nail our buffalo to a tree. So everybody roots for me. And you guys, Christian people, refuse to take it down for nearly 2,000 years. Yeah. So there's a little group of people running around that they try to take it down. Seems like they're proud of carrying it and holding it to me.
Maybe that's when real freedom will come, when we take Christ off the cross and recognize his life and his teachings, and the Christ consciousness comes alive in all of us. So what would you say? Would you say that we have a choice for freedom? That's what I got today. I think we each have a choice.
No, we don't have no choice. We have to listen. Because the choice is Manuel got that message, Manuel got that message. That's not a choice. Well, we should understand this, and we better listen, because this is a gift. This is a gift. The way we fly, walk, swim, we walk on tools. That is a gift. See? So you could live here as long as you want to. You could live there forever. See? That was a privilege that was given to us. The freedom, the total freedom was here. That time nobody ever got sick, nobody got hungry, nobody come collecting rent. You don't pay nothing, see? We were totally free people, see? We lost it, see? Because they have doubt against Tagasta. So he came back and said, okay, you have doubt. So the man, when Tagasta came back, who the hell are you? Well, I'm the one who gave you that heart. No, I have wisdom, knowledge. Looks no. But in real translation, man creates nothing. So Einstein were my first students. Man creates nothing. Although he's a part of energy, he's part of fire, he's a part of nucleus. And we talk about the living stuff, we talk about the minds, the molecules, the matters, and particle known as soil or become grain of sand. Einstein, one stone, see? So we are earth people, we are stone people, see? We're part of fire, we have a soul, and we're part of the rock, we wear this earth robe, and we drink water, we're a living plant, and we eat rabbit food, see? And they turn into flesh. I will tell you a joke. White minister hang around the Eden. He calls everybody brothers and sisters. He kind of hang around my sister, all the boys, grandsons. They all eat. They were making a noise. And they were singing. They stopped. Okay, you stop. You're going to eat. One of them is going to pray. So my sister called Whitmore, advisor. So, not tongue lash hurt people, but advise people. they call whip woman. So a whip woman, you guys now put your steak down and you're going to eat. Oh, good music. One of them is going to pray and you're going to distribute the food and enjoy. But you must say thank you to Kasha and the Holy Mother. She gave us these beautiful days, and she gave us this water, the corn, the bears, and meat. So to nourish our mind, body, and spirit. So you take little portions in return, put something back to God. It'll go again. What you offer will be returned 7 times. So lay your treasure in heaven. I think the Christian people misinterpret it. They give us a Bible for this. So they got the land and they have the Bible. So all this misinterpretation. So what is freedom has to be actively translated, not we fought for freedom again. That's not so. So killing people and take something. So they hold they condemn peace on earth and goodwill towards men. They condemn Jews. Then they go all over the world. Tell the black people, go eat. Tell all the yellow people, go north. Tell all the white people. Tell all the red people here. And they kick the bucket for us. That's so. See, that's a bunch of lies. So like Maxine or like a Bible, it's like a true confession. The biggest unsolved murder. See? So we have to tell the truth. We have to. Yeah. And they so now they're holding a cross on one head. And the NATO hold the atomic bomb. The only 10 countries are called NATO. And the other countries who hold cross on it, they have no bomb on it, so they're tucked under NGO. They could sit as a member, but they're not decision makers. I was in the Salt One. I went to Geneva, UN World Cup, and I was in the Salt 1, 2, and 3. Believe it or not. So the Salt 1, how I broke up. The UN and the members joined, and the Secretary UN had a roll call who signed those President Connie Molotov was to speak about this atomic bomb called Salt 1. So he was sitting, so Secretary of the UN said, what are we waiting? So Molotov got up and we're missing one delegate. So you tell us, so they have another roll call. You tell us who's absent. We've got to have at least one representative from Western Hemisphere. So I got Sam jump to the street with his dog behind me. All the blue, red, white, and blue stripes. I'm the smartest man, I'm the richest man in the world. I'm representing Western Hemisphere. What the hell you guys are talking? So, okay, you sit down, we're going to question. When you first went to Western Hemisphere, you met a red man. What did you do with it? Big question, big international language. Big. So you have to understand what you're talking.
Thank you very much.
So I have to finish.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is the problem we have. We don't listen. We want to jump to conclusion. So this is the question there. So now, if that red man is accepted here as the United Nations, black, we left the red out, yellow. The black, there's only 2 representatives speak their language. And yellow, there's only 2 languages present. And the white, there's more white delegates here. There's 137 delegates. The red is not. So if that red comes in here, I will surrender this atomic bomb. I will lay this fire down and I'll shake it. So the international lawyers, they who write laws or erase laws, this is what they say. Listen very careful. We're talking about freedom. Our life is at stake, so we gotta get to the television world. We have to tell the truth. So the UN and the World Court, the international lawyers, they incorporate the chairman said it. When I went into the World Court, 240 language-speaking people here. That's just only a handful sitting there, when the hippie guy was brought before the Pontius Pilate. I had that funny feeling that this 240 brains sitting there like Pontius Pilate. And I was like that little hippie guy brought before the Pontius Pilate. And I was scared silly that they might wash their hands. All the good things, I gave all the everything I had. But now, I see this hippie doing good things. You know, he killed leprosy, beef, rain, meat, raise leprosy, stay off the green grass, stay on the concrete, stay on the blacktop. But the hippie guy, he walks on the green, he walks on the gravel, he walks on top of the water, he walks right to the fire. So I think he's a good job. And because, you know, the hippie missing 12 and 8:30, he was back 2 years later to kill him. Well, between that time, he was here, so he was the first white boy we trained. Oh, so this is real. For now, at the World Court, the attorney pays the floor. So what can I say? What can we say? Or what is he going to say? And all the minds either locked. Now you could hear Peter. Now finally the attorney raised his face. Tears were flowing down. And the strong voice when it started to shatter. It said this, it is impossible to bear the truth. We have tried to bear the truth for thousands and thousands and thousands of years. We tried to bear this truth to them. So the truth, I'm going to give you one example. We, the white people, went to Western Hemisphere and raped and slew and slaughtered those people that rightfully owned them. So we, the white people, white nation, United Nations sitting here, we inherit that blood money. So how can we use this blood money? We pay it back to those people that are rightfully owned that land. Nobody could say nothing. So I got up and put this the 360, she mentioned the 360. Black, red, yellow. I didn't come here for that blood money. I came here for you. Let us go back over there where there's happiness and joy. Okay? So this is what we're talking about.
Oh. Thank you, Grandpa. Thank you, Carolyn. Thank you, Emily. Thanks, everyone, for coming. And let's walk into profound freedom, shall we? And unity, and do it, live it, choose it, be it.
You're going to do a little burning?
Everybody.
Oh,